Gyeongbokgung Palace, a structure complex of renowned craftsmanship and a symbol of Korea's resilience against the Japanese occupation. Hello guys and welcome to my vlog. I'm Regina and today I'll be showing you my experience inside the Gyeongbokgung Palace in South Korea. We decided to visit the palace because of its historical and cultural relevance. Moreover, it houses two national treasures. Internationally speaking, it is famous for its beauty and architecture and serves as a well-preserved sanctuary from the Joseon period. As I continue on with the video, I will be mentioning little bits of facts and details about the palace complex so that we get to appreciate it more. Before we start, let's first take a short trip down the memory lane, shall we? History. To begin with, the palace wasn't always called the Gyeongbokgung Palace. It also has many different nicknames, such as the Palace of Shining Happiness and the Palace Greatly Blessed by Heaven. Another name is the Northern Palace, since it is located at the northernmost area as compared to the 5 other palaces in Gyeongbokgung, which we currently call Seoul. The palace was built during the rule of King Taejo, the founder of the Joseon dynasty, which lasted from 1392 to 1897, while the construction was headed by Jong Do-jeon, a renowned architect of the time. Construction began by 1394 and finished by 1395. By 1592, the castle was burned down during the Japanese Hideyoshi invasion, which continued from 1592 to 1598. Contrary to popular beliefs, the fire wasn't started by the Japanese, rather by a group of Korean slaves as an attempt to erase records of their own bondage, as well as a form of rebellion due to their living and working conditions which angered them. During 1863 to 1868, the palace was rebuilt by Hongseon Daewongun, the regent and father of King Gojun, from the ruins caused by the Japanese invasion. However, the construction took 7 years and had ended up nearly bankrupting the government. In a horrifying twist of events, Empress Myeongsong, the wife of King Gojun, was assassinated in 1895, which had served as a precursor to the Japanese imperial rule over Korea. By the year 1910, Korea was completely taken over by the Japanese as a part of their empire throughout Asia. The Japanese had desecrated and demolished all except 10 buildings as an attempt to erase Korean culture and to damage their pride. To further add salt to the wound, they had built the residence of the Japanese Governor General in front of the throne hall. Reconstruction of the ruined buildings from the Japanese imperial rule began in 1989 as a part of a 40-year-long plan of restoring the whole palace. Additionally, the Japanese General Government Building was demolished by the year 1995 due to its symbolism of Japanese imperialism. By 2009, around 20% of the buildings were restored and thus the palace was open to the public. Now that we have finished our short history, let us now tour the Gyeongbokgung Palace. First off, I would like to mention that I will only be discussing 3 parts of the palace: the main gate, the throne room, and the pavilion, since these were the only places I got to visit within the palace due to time constraint. Now that we got that out of the way, we can now start. The Gyeongbokgung Palace is the main palace complex among all others since it was the first one to be built. It served as the residency of the Korean imperial family, and it is considered to be the largest and most beautiful out of the other places. And to add, it has the Bukhansan mountain as its backdrop. However, the palace complex does not obstruct its view, which is in line with the nation's architectural philosophy. The original plan of the palace differs greatly from the one we are seeing as of today. Originally, it used to be 410,000 square meters big and had 330 buildings with 5,792 rooms, as well as housed around 3,000 staffs, 140 eunuchs, along with the imperial family. The main gate. The main gate is called the Gwanghwamun, which means the gate of transformation by light. It faces the south, and it serves as the front gate of the complex, which faces the city government buildings. The gate contains 3 arched entrances that have their own paintings and each allowing only a specific person or a set of persons to enter it. The middle arch is reserved only for the king and queen to enter. The ceiling is painted with a bongpang, an oriental phoenix which is a symbol of virtue and grace. The left arch is reserved only for the prince to enter. The ceiling is painted with a turtle which represents the prediction of fortune. The right arch is reserved only for retainers to enter. The ceiling is painted with a Kirin, a mythical creature of Korean folklore, which symbolizes faith and reign of peace. However, as of recently, the right arch is used for entering and the left arch is used for exiting the complex. There is also a stone carving of the Hake or the Heichi, another Korean mythical creature, just outside the main gate, which symbolizes soul. It is said to be capable of judging between the right and wrong, and so it was placed outside the complex in order to protect the king. In the past, it is custom for visitors to get out of their vehicles and walk from that point onwards. There is also the Gyeongbokgung Gate, which is the second inner gate that one must pass before arriving to the throne area. On our travel to the palace, we were fortunate enough to have watched the changing of the guard ceremony. It is amusing and interesting at the same time since it's the first time I have seen an Asian version of the changing of the guard ceremony. The throne room. The imperial throne room, or otherwise called the Gyeongbokgung, is a Korean national treasure since the original structure was preserved. It is mounted on 2 stone platforms called the Wolde, and it has the Chinese zodiac statues carved along the balustrade. The throne room has a 2-tier roof. In viewing from afar, it may seem to be a 2-story structure, but it is in fact only a 1-story structure. When seen up close or from the inside, the throne room has extremely high ceilings. Umgyoks are stone tablets that are equally spaced along the sides of the pathway that lead up to the throne room to mark the positions of court officials during national events. The closer the tablet is to the throne room, the higher the rank of the official position at the tablet. Scholars stand on the east side while warriors stand on the west side. The Gyeongbokgung, or the Gate of Government by Restraint, is another gate that must be passed before the path leads to the throne room. The Pavilion. The Gyeongbokgung Pavilion is another national treasure since the original structure was also preserved. It is situated in the middle of a man-made pond that provides a beautiful reflection of the pavilion as well as of its surroundings. It is a 2-story pavilion that serves as an open banquet hall with 48 supporting columns on the first floor. The upper floor is a more secured area only used for intimate celebrations and feasts, which can support up to 100 guests. Overall, the Gyeongbokgung Palace is a charming and elegant structure complex that perfectly encapsulates the heart and spirit of Seoul. The complex also portrays the skillful craftsmanship of Korean builders and artisans as well as showcases the Korean architectural philosophy of harmony between nature and people. In the end, I was able to enjoy touring the palace albeit the time constraints. If I were ever to come back to South Korea again, I would, without a doubt, visit the palace again just to immerse myself in its beauty and magnificence. That's all for the vlog. Thank you for listening and see you next time.